items.
Commissioner Zabatowski,
Yes,
before you ask for public comment, before you go to number 4 for public comment on agenda items, I have 2 items that I'd like to add to today's agenda. So I'm going to make a motion to add it to the agenda, and then we can discuss it. Both of them will be under the Commissioners, which is number 16.
Okay.
The first one, I move to amend the agenda to consider accepting the additional sum of $2,000 from Burnett Oil Company as a payment adjustment for terms under the compressor station ground lease, which the parties terminated pursuant to resolution dated December 16, 2014.
I will second the motion. Motion is properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The second item that I would like to add to the agenda is this also will be under number 16, to ratify the December 1st, 2014 notice to proceed letter between the County of Fayette and Astorino, and to execute a modified notice to proceed letter between the County of Fayette and Astorino Cannon Design to reflect their new company name. Said notice to proceed authorized an additional fee limit of $185,000 pending the execution of the final AIA agreement.
I will second the motion. Is there any discussion? Motion is properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
What is that vote, please?
2 to 1. Let the record indicate that Commissioners Zabatowski and Zimmerling were in favor of the motion.
I'm sorry, I would also like to make an amendment to the agenda. The motion is to allow us to vote on accepting the 3 prime contracts for the CYS building extension. That 3 low bidders, which were the general construction contract, the mechanical contract, and the plumbing contract.
If you could clarify, what's the bid number? You want us to award bid numbers, what, to whom, and for what service?
Do you have a copy of that, perhaps?
John, do you have that bid number?
I think that's right. And it's for what contract?
The contracts are the general construction GC contract, mechanical construction. There's the 3 out of the 4 prime contracts that were voted.
Is this the general construction, election, plumbing, what? I don't see any of these. Is it plumbing, electric, general?
The 3 contracts are for the general construction.
General construction.
The mechanical construction.
Okay.
And the plumbing construction.
Okay. Solicitor Kopp, are you, the last communication that I received from you, and I know that it was sent also to the other 2 commissioners, sometime late yesterday,
Yes.
was that you met with Commissioner Ambrosini and Rob Slater to discuss the status of those bids, and that you were going to review a document, the procurement manual, as well as wait to receive information from Rob Slater, and that upon that your receipt of the information, you would review it and then render a legal opinion. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity, and I believe your email also said that this year was around 2:30, 3 o'clock, that you did not believe that you would be in a position to render a legal opinion prior to our meeting today, but if you were, you would send us that opinion, and you haven't sent that yet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then I'm not prepared to make a decision until I allow you an opportunity to review that and then send us your legal opinion.
If I may, I talked to Rob Slater prior to the meeting, and we discussed the matter, and then we were going to wait for a response from Mr. Cup regarding the legal side of it, and I'm still waiting for that. Did you say review those questions, see what the output is?
To give you a timeline, and not feel like it is point. We had the meeting on Monday the 26th, on Tuesday the 27th, and I went to the website where I get information from the Commonwealth, and they had changed the recommendation manual that they published in 2003. They changed it in December of 2014. It did not appear on the website last week. I don't know if it was there Monday. It was certainly there Tuesday. So I have to go through that manual. Then at 3:25 yesterday, I got Mr. Slater's letter. Now, I don't have any disagreement with Mr. Slater's letter, but I haven't had an opportunity to go through this entire manual, Mr. Slater's letter, and write a memorandum. And I would be doing a disservice if I were to try to write that manual, that memorandum, in so short a period of time.
So in the best interest of the taxpayers, this prudence that we will be exercising is a necessity.
I would get you I would get you the memorandum within the next couple of days, and you may want to take action and ratify it.
And then we can meet subsequently.
Yeah, but I don't think I can get that to you today's Wednesday. I don't think I can get it to you till Thursday. I probably can't get it to you tomorrow. Because there's too much to go through.
There was a motion on the floor. Is there a second to the motion? Calling for a second on the motion. No second to the motion. Let the record reflects the request made to amend the agenda by Commissioner Ambrosini failed based on no second. At this time, public comment on agenda items.
Does everyone have a copy of the agenda? Or need it? If you do, no? Okay.
Excuse me. Does anyone have any comments on any agenda items? Not seeing any. Item number 5, redevelopment authority. Consider the document resolution attached, which approves the 2014 community development block grant application being submitted on behalf of Fayette County and the 8 entitlement townships of Bullskin, Dunbar, Georges, Jeremy, Luzerne, Manila, North Union, and Redstone, and to approve the execution of a cooperation agreement with the redevelopment authority for administrative services for the county CDBG program.
Chief Clerk, you do have a copy of the resolution provided by Andrew French.
Yes.
And you also have a copy of the cooperation agreement. those, the first copy that he provided to us obviously had a date of January 20th. So please make sure that, when I printed the agenda for this month, I amended the date for the resolution. So when you circulate, please make sure that it's dated, for today's date, both the cooperation agreement and the, resolution, all right? And attach those along with this resolution. Okay, thank you. Second.
Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 6, Children and Youth Services. Consider for approval for the fiscal year 2014-2015 a purchase of service agreement between the County of Fayette, the Fayette County Children and Youth Services, Fayette County Juvenile Probation, and Glen Mills Incorporated, Post Office Box 5001, Concordville, PA, as listed, the rates as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Motion probably moved to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approving the fiscal year 2014-2015 purchase of service agreement between the County of Fayette and Fayette County Children and Youth Services, Fayette County Juvenile Probation and Kids Peace Corporation, Independence Drive, Checksville, PA, for the rates as listed on the agenda.
Second.
A motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 7, under the controller.
Fayette County General Fund, cash, checking account of United Bank, $3,725,800.39. Funds owed to the general fund. Part payments due. Intermediate Punishment Fund, 3 years, $40,651.26. Offender Supervision Fund, 3 years, $87,758.28. Central Service Payments, C-17 Fund, 3 years, $12,490. Offender Supervision, 4 years, $56,740. Intermediate Punishment, 4 years, $29,053. Due to the general fund debt service, $161,735.16, totaling $388,427.70. Funds the general fund owes: 2015 tax anticipation note of $4 million, leaving a net position of $114,228.09. 2015 revenues, $431,860.21. 2015 expenses, $1,313,413.65. 2014 expenses paid in 2015, $1,154,706.62. Capital Reserve Fund Balance Fund 51, $220,802.40. Bond Fund Balance Fund 53, $50,631.72. And Act 13, Marcellus Shell Balance Fund 13, the balance in the bank is $1,454,491.43, with no funds received in 2015.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions the board may have for the controller? The office of controller? Not seeing any. Item number 8, under the reports, consider approving 5-year lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Pitney Bowes for mailing services at a rate of $55.05 per month for the following MDJ's office: Metros, Haggerty, Dennis, Defino, Abraham, Kasunik, and there was some used during the time. How long was that?
2022-01, which is now a vacant office, but vacant meaning no magistrate is assigned, but the office is in use.
That's correct.
Second.
Motion probably moved in second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider ratifying the approval of five-year lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Pitney Bowes for mailing services at a rate of $55.05 per month for the Central Court number 14-0-00.
Second.
Motion been properly moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Excuse me. Consider ratifying the approval of parking space. I'm sorry.
We on the bundle?
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'm on the ratifying, just agree.
Okay. Mine says consider. Consider approving parking space lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Tim Grindle. The one-year agreement commences 1 January 2015 and ends 31 December 2015 for leasing 10 parking spaces at 90 Pittsburgh Street for use by the Magisterial District Court 14-0-00 located on Beeson Avenue. The rate is $20 per vehicle per month, which would be $200 per month.
Second.
Motion properly moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving parking space lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Threshold Housing Development Incorporated. The one-year agreement commences 1/2015, ending 12/31/15 for 7 parking spaces adjacent to 55 North Beeson Avenue, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. The rate is $100 per month.
Second.
Motion properly moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And there was one that was skipped, the one right above it.
Which one here? The ratification. Oh, right there.
Yeah, you just read this.
Okay, I didn't do the routing. Okay. Consider ratifying the approval of parking space lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Timothy Grindle. The 2-month agreement commenced 1 November 2014, ending 31 December 2014. That was for 10 parking spaces located at 90 Pittsburgh Street. The rate was $20 per vehicle per month, which was $200.
Second.
Motion properly moved to second. All those in favor? Aye. Did I get them all?
Yes.
Okay, I got one on here. Consider ratifying the approval of parking space lease agreement between the County of Fayette and Threshold Housing Development Incorporated. The 1-month agreement commenced 1 December 2014, ending 31 December 2014. And that was for 7 parking spaces at a rate of $100 per month.
Second.
Motion properly moved in second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider terminating the cleaning contract between the County of Fayette and Crestia, Perryopolis, Pennsylvania. Said contract is for the Central Court office commencing November 2014 and ending January 31st, 2015 at $100 per month.
Second.
Motion properly moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Consider terminating the cleaning agreement contract between the County of Fayette and Glory Hughes for cleaning services at District Court 14-1-02, effective 31 December 2014.
Second.
Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 9, EMA 911, consider approving the SFY 2014-2015 Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant Agreement in the amount of $13,016. This grant is 80% funded by the Fed and 20% funded by the county. So the county's share is $3,254. Second. Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving a renewal of maintenance contracts with CenturyLink Sales and Solutions for the period of 1 January 2015 through June 30, 2015 at a cost of $15,492.30. This is for maintenance of the 911 phone switching equipment and is budgeted in the 2015 budget.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving to advertise for RFPs for the triannual audit of the 911 account for the period of 1 January 2012 through 12/31 December 2014 as required under Section 8D and Section 11.5 of the Public Emergencies and Telephone Act of 1978.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 10, Fayette County Behavioral Health Administration, consider approving a modification to professional service agreement with Vitalink Computers for $1,200 for July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Interrupting here, guys. For Human Resource Department number 9, I see that there are a number that has a to be determined. I don't see Dominic here. Does either Commissioner Assistant or Chief Clerk, do we know if he's here?
I don't know if he is in.
Do we have names?
These written names provided to me by the Chief Clerk prior to the meeting commencing.
Okay, that's for the CYS?
Yes, ma'am.
What about for FACT? There was an email that I quickly read this morning for FACT. What's that one? For the do you have the FACT?
Oh, you guys did?
Yeah, we just got this.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We just got this morning, right? Okay, so for so for FACT, it's Kenneth Novak.
Yes, Ken Novak is FACT.
And that is for start date January 29th, 15. January 29th, 2015.
Correct.
Right?
I'll second the motion.
Well, no, I'm not. I just want to put these names in here so we know. We also then. What's your name? Jennifer?
Jennifer Guzman.
Jennifer. G-U.
I thought it was G-E-N.
Yeah, I mean, the last name? Is it G-U-E-S-M-A-N or G-U-S?
Yes, it's G-E-S.
G-U-E-S-M-A-N? Okay, and the next one, Aaron R.U.P.P.
Right.
Okay, and both of them start date February 2nd, 2015, right? Is that what everyone has?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
All right. Let me just start.
Yeah, we will.
We at least have the names here so we don't mess up.
Under CYS, consider ratifying and accepting the resignation of Brittany Liptak effective 28 December 2014.
Second.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider ratifying the approval of the 240-hour volunteer internship of Cal University Masters of Social Work Kim Sushler, effective 22 January of 2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving the hire of Jennifer Guzman as caseworker 1 at a rate of $15.12 per hour, which is $29,484, and that would be effective February
2nd.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion been properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving the hire of Aaron. Is it Aaron or Eric Rupp? And Eric or Aaron? Eric. Aaron Rupp at a rate of $15.12 an hour, $29,484, effective February of 2015.
February 2nd.
Yes.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor? Under EMA, consider ratifying, accepting the resignation of 911 dispatcher Jennifer Harvey effective 7 January 2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. In fact, consider approving the hire. Is this Ken Novak? Hire Ken Novak as a temporary replacement of the tech duty service person at $11.04 per hour, effective 1/29/2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to table approving the 2015 behavioral health compensation plan. It's listed on the agenda. Gives the commissioners an opportunity to review it more thoroughly and make it conducive with the non-union of the rest of the county.
Well, and based on some of the discussion, we've been looking at amending some of the non-union policy. I think it would behoove us as we're doing this to establish some equity. So I would also make that suggestion or concur with your suggestion.
I move the table.
Second. Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Under HR, consider approving the 180-hour volunteer internship of West Warren County Community College accounting major Eleanor Stoops, effective 23 January 2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
For the next one, did the HR provide an effective date to either Kathy, Mary, or Amy? You know? I'm sorry, what? I didn't receive it.
I know I did.
I don't know that I have one. I have for the following ones of the 23rd. I don't have one.
I'll make a motion. This is to include, this is a new individual, correct?
Correct.
I make a motion to approve modifying the workers' compensation panel of providers to include the local neurologist as recommended by PCOM, effective January 29th, 2015.
I'll second that. Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries.
I move to table approving the modification of the county's vacation leave policy number 7.2.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I move to table approving the modification of the county's bereavement leave policy number 7.8.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Public Defender, consider ratifying the approval to hire William Bechtold for the investigator position in SCIU pay grade 10, which is $12.64 an hour, effective 22 January 2015.
Second.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Juvenile Probation Office, consider approval of purchase service agreement between the County of Fayette and Community Resources doing business as the Crime Victim Center for a term of 1 year beginning January 1st, 2015, ending December 31st, 2015, at $50,000 or $50 per hour to develop and implement programming to address competency-based training of the JPO as required by the BARJ.
Second.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 13, planning and zoning. Consider ratifying approving the grant submission to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency under the funding announcement titled Mental Health and Justice Housing Initiative 2014 in the amount of $100,000. Submission of the date of grant opportunity is January 20th, 2015. Fayette County's program, which will be operated by the Fayette County Community Action Agency.
Second.
Motion and properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider the rezoning request of RZ-14-9 Richard and Melody Ellsworth, Fairchance Borough, requesting an extension of R2 high-density residential on property currently owned B1 general business.
Move to accept.
Second to approve.
I'll second. Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Public Works, consider awarding bid 14-09 for janitorial supplies as attached.
Second.
Motion been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider awarding the bid 14-10 to Bob Summerall Tire Company, Eatontown, PA, for tires related to mechanical services as attached.
Second.
Motion properly moved and second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval to enter into a contract between the County of Fayette and Facility Dude in Cary, North Carolina, for utility bill automation to obtain, track, and provide reports monthly data. This is for the energy usage supplied up to 40 meters to the county's properties. The cost is $1,040 for 2015, and $200 setup fee for the term of the utility bill automation. Motion properly moved in second. All those in favor? Motion carries. Consider approving a one-year contract between the County of Fayette and Lynn's Elevator Service, Pittsburgh, PA, quarterly inspection of the county's elevator and lift chair. I should say it was just the lift chair, elevator service, and lift chair, both.
For the courthouse at $500 in
Yeah.
2015.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approving the German Township supervisors and Masontown Borough to use the Masontown German Park to host an e-waste recycling event for Earth Week. The date of the event is being planned for April 25, 2015, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. and subject to MOA.
Second.
Motion probably moved and second. All those in favor? Motion carries. Tax claim. Consider approval to accept the following bids from January 6, 2015 repository sale. Bid opening subject to all conditions being met. Motion probably moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under the Commissioners, item number 16, we want to ratify an agreement. Okay, you want to?
Can we do those now?
Oh, you want to?
Either
Yeah,
these or-
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Consider approving the minutes of the special commissioners meeting of November 21st, 2014.
Move.
Second. Probably moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries
What's the vote?
2-1. Consider approving the minutes of the special commissioners meeting of 8 January 2015.
Move. Second.
Motion probably moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider ratifying the extension or rejection of RFP 14-03 property proposals for the use as a prison in the city of Uniontown.
Move.
Second. Motion probably moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's the vote?
The record reflect the motion was 2-1. Commissioner Amberlini dissenting. Consider ratifying the following transfers in the general fund from 12/15/2014 to January 5, 2015 as attached. I don't see it. Total deficit, total deficit. Okay, I'll second. Motion been properly moved and second. All those in favor?
Nay.
Consider authorizing to advertise an RFP or RFQ for professional human resource services and an RFP or RFQ $2,115,931.65 from the county's loan through FNB for reimbursement to the general fund for the prison-related costs paid in 2014 and loan and consultants fees associated with the $10 million FNB loan.
Second.
Motion and properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the additional sum of $2,000 from Burnett Oil Company as a payment adjustment for terms under the compression station ground lease, which the parties, meaning Burnett Oil Company and Fayette County, terminated pursuant to resolution dated December 16th, 2014.
Second.
Motion and properly moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Make a motion to ratify the December 1st, 2014 notice to proceed letter between the County of Fayette and Astorino, and to execute a modified notice to proceed letter between the County of Fayette and Astorino Cannon Design to reflect the new company name. Said notice to proceed authorized an initial fee payment of $185,000 pending the execution of the final AIA agreement.
I'll second the motion. Motion and properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion reflected. It was 2-1. Commissioners Gazarovski and Zimmerman in the affirmative. Commissioner Anderson second. Public announcements. We don't have any public announcements. Does anybody have any public announcements? This time, is there any public comment? This time, is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
What do you wish me to make my comment?
Please, please stand, sir. You're recognized.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Mr. Chris, please.
I'd like to make a comment on the Commissioners meeting on January the 8th concerning when you three Commissioners made board appointments. And my comment is today, after reading in the paper, a gentleman, Mr. Markwood, who is now deceased, unfortunately, was appointed to the Fayette County Industrial Development Authority. I said that day how important I thought it was for you Commissioners to meet and personally interview candidates, and I guess it would have solved this unfortunate problem. But on the other side of this coin, I look at this, I'm thinking, after I read the Herald Standard story, that the gentleman has been deceased for over 2 years. Well, what brings me into question is this. Here's a board, and I'm just getting the information from the newspaper. If the gentleman passed away 2 years ago, why didn't any of the board members pick up a phone or email you, kind of let you know that unfortunately one of their board members is deceased and you need to reappoint or fill that position? I find that odd, one. And two, it also makes a comment that one of the board members says that they have never met or made any decisions or done anything since 2010. Why would you have a board who doesn't know each other, never meets, never convenes? What are they doing? So is there any protocol in place in the county where maybe at the end of the year or the start of the year, one of the chairs of these committees or boards informs you Commissioners that there's somebody who might want to resign, who has been deceased or something happened, to let you know so this incident doesn't happen in the future?
Well, as Mr. Chris, as I stated at that meeting, I was in favor of us interviewing everybody, no matter whether they've been on the board, reappointed, or they're new wanting to serve, do some public service. And I think that this is obviously unfortunate, but I think if we would take the steps to interview every single person for every single board appointment, we would eliminate these type of issues.
And I agree, and I know you said that to me that day, but unfortunately, your excuse that you didn't do this was because you never received an email. And now, again, I'm not going to blame your beat yet, but I think that's a really lame excuse as a community leader who knows this happens every year in December, to have taken that stand. You have the knowledge, you're fully aware, and you've done it in the past. I just think if you would have been more on the job and did what you just told me you should have done and would have liked to have done, maybe this could have been averted. But it's done. But my point is, also, not only are you three to blame, I guess, but also the board members of this board we're speaking of today. I question why none of them would have communicated with you commissioners and said something like that happened and that you needed to fill a board. It's not your duty, I understand, to micromanage all these boards, obviously. So you need some help both ways. So I think in the future, two things. I think having interviews, personal interviews, probably are really important and fair to everybody. And maybe a chair or something of one of these boards can keep you up to speed so something like this doesn't happen again. And lastly, if nobody's meeting for 4 years on a board, do you really need that board? And it's nothing personal towards that board or those people, because I don't understand it, I'm not aware of it, but 4 years seems like a long time not to meet or know one another.
It's my understanding it's a state statute, so I'm not sure. So I can't answer the question. But there, in all due respect, somebody up in the planning and zoning office would, you would think after a while, this evening, we would have gotten some information.
See, and not pointing fingers, not laying blame, not mentioning names. I'm using it in general here because it's a real live circumstance that happened, and it really shouldn't happen at all. Both sides, I think, here are at fault. I guess we have a lack of communication here that really shouldn't happen. And maybe that's only my take on it, but again, I think it's very important that people need to be interviewed personally, ask questions, get a better feel on people, what their true desires and ambitions and goals are in helping the community instead of political picks or non-existent people. Thanks for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
I will comment on this since it was brought up. In the past 2 to 3 years, there have been interviews scheduled. Many times, as many of the board members who are present, who are currently on boards, will confirm that they were contacted for appointments. When they came to the meetings, the scheduled appointments, and I'm talking for 2012, 2013, and 2014, at which time the 3 commissioners that you see here were the ones who scheduled the appointments through their assistants. And it's the schedule for the conference record, 2012, 2013, 2014. Many times there were only 1 commissioner. At times there were 2. A few times there were 3 who did the interview. There were times also, and this can all be confirmed if needed, if there wants to be another story on it. We'll sit down and do that. You can contact a number of individuals. And it was said in the past, and I'm talking this current board of commissioners, that I don't need to see this individual because I know him or her, or I'll speak with him on the phone, or we just appointed him last year. And the reasons at times that was said by fellow commissioners is because some terms are 5 years, some terms are 4, some terms are 3, and other terms are 1 year. At the beginning of this commissioners' meeting, 1 commissioner said that he did not feel comfortable in voting on any of the boards because he did not interview, but then proceeded to vote, which doesn't make sense to me, but it happened. Speaking specifically for this board, now I'm gonna tell you about the protocol. There's nothing in writing, but I will tell you about the protocol and how it's been happening since I've been a commissioner in 2004. And I believe that we job in the resolutions that were passed in prior years. If you go back and look in the term of 2004, 2008, there were many times that the board appointments and the resolutions went very smooth. If you look back in beginning of 2012 term, you will see, as evidenced by resolutions and minutes, that many of the resolutions had to be rescinded. Why? Because although motions were made, one commissioner, me, would say, this person does not want to be appointed, or we've been asked by the executive director to hold off. So it appears, as evidenced by minutes and resolutions, that the problem for these types of boards has only occurred in the last maybe 2 years. That's no excuse. All three commissioners here are responsible for the final product, even though we do have department heads, commissioner assistants, and chief clerks that work for us and work for the county. Yes, the ultimate responsibility rests on the three that you see here. And we must rely also on our staff, as well as members of the boards and executive directors, things of that nature for these boards. I don't believe any commissioner said it's not my fault. None of us said that. I'm on a roll here.
Okay.
See how easily I can get because I have a lot on my mind.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I just wanted to thank you because I know the work that you did put in. I remember walking into you and Kathy were in the papers all over the
It's not just, you know.
Well, I know, I'm just saying. I know you do a lot of work.
All three commissioners are responsible, okay? With their assistants or without their assistants, and with their chief clerks, and with their department heads. Normally what occurs is that if you have a board, I'll give you an example, like only because I see two people back there and it's making me think, a housing authority board or an airport board. We receive letters at times from like the executive director, okay? And they say, this individual wishes to be reappointed, or this individual does not wish to be reappointed. That's how the county knows. Also, we receive individual letters at times, not always, from current board members who wish to have their terms extended. When we don't receive a letter from the current board who wants their term to be extended or renewed, then many times someone has to, in the courthouse, of course, we pick up the phone and we ask them, have you talked with your board member? Or we actually call the individual. So there is great care that's taken in this process. How many boards does anyone here know that we have? Anyone know how many boards we have? Yeah, it's interesting. I do. How many boards did we appoint on this date? I believe it was 16. The agenda and the information and the paperwork that went between the three commissioners and their assistants and chief clerk was numerous. It was an error to place on the agenda that particular board. The error was not just of an individual who had passed away 2 years prior. The error was placing the entire board on the agenda. There were 16 on that agenda, only 15 should have been on there. And as we said during that meeting, that we had additional boards to appoint. Kathy, not to put you on the spot, but is it accurate to say that we have probably about 5 or 6 additional boards to appoint?
I was going to say 5 or 6.
Approximately. So it's not written in stone. Approximately 5 or 6 to review and to appoint or reappoint. So And we will continue to use that same process. In this particular instance on this board, at one time it was, and I'll tell you, I missed it, okay? I missed it. At one time it was on the, in the stack that we were going to appoint, and on at other times it was on the other pile of papers that no, we should not be appointing because we had not contacted, nor did we hear from the individuals and or the contact person for this particular board. At one time, there was an individual who passed away in 2008, and we received a letter. Was Commissioner, at that time, Commissioner Zabatowski, myself, and Mercedes. And we received a letter from the contact person of the industrial board who actually said, this individual had passed away, you will need to reappoint. This time it didn't happen, okay? Not again, all of us could have picked up the phone and said, what's the board makeup? For them not meeting in 2010 should not be news to the three of us, or to really any staff member here who may be working, who may have been working in the past, been employed in the past many years, because we all should be reading the same paperwork, and also even for Commissioner Ambrosini, who has been here since 2012, it defined what that board does and why it is needed. It also, when we made appointments in the prior years, stated that it does not meet on a regular basis. It's not charged to meet on a regular basis. It only meets when needed to perform specific duties. And, as I recall one time, that board, as well as these other boards, I'll give you another example, the UCC board. That board has been created as far back as our term, the 2008 term. And it hasn't met once. But does that, and why? Because no one has appealed. But does that mean it doesn't exist or shouldn't exist? No. And at that time from the director, it was stated from the commissioners, we will appoint, as terms come up, the same individuals because they had agreed to serve when called upon. And in the event that you no longer wish to serve, we move out of the area, whatever the case may be, you notify us through the planning and zoning through the UCC. So why would there be a need to interview individuals and say, if you want to go back on the board, tell us how it's been? Do you know what kind of how silly that would have been? Obviously, since they haven't had any meeting, it's not their fault that they haven't had a meeting. Citizens haven't gotten an appeal. But is there a conversation? There should have been, and I believe that there was, between the department head and those individuals. Do you still wish to serve? In the event that an appeal hearing is the answer yes, therefore it happens. Was it done on this particular one for the industrial development? No. It's slid by all three of us. It will be addressed. And again, it's not just because of an individual who passed away, it's because the entire board needs to be looked at to see who there's other individuals who may want to serve. But I will agree that when there is a responsibility for not only the commissioners, not only the staff, but also the board and the fellow board members, if you've been appointed and you wonder, I can tell you, there's been no one appointed who can tell me, regardless of what was said in the paper, that they were appointed and didn't know what their duties were, because when they initially would have come in for an interview, they would have been told that, and then also the agency itself would have sent the information on to them. At least that is what we have always been told, and I remember some of these conversations. So all what I can tell you is that particular one should have never been placed on that agenda to begin with. It was an oversight. Normally, this attention to detail here, that everybody knows that I always say, hey, let's slow up a little bit. Well, normally I'd pick something like that up. I didn't. At that time, whenever we were going through, I should have looked at it and said, you know what, I don't think we were ready for this time. It was missed by me, and apparently it was missed by Commissioner Zabatowski, and apparently missed by Commissioner Everseen. The three of us will remedy that.
And can I just ask one question to follow?
Yes.
Did Mrs. Markwood, the decedent's widow, contact any of you three commissioners by email or telephone on the subject?
No.
So she just happened to call the Herald Standard?
I don't know that.
Okay.
Your question was, did that
Yes.
individual contact me?
Any of you commissioners
Well,
by email or letter?
I'll answer
Her
for
husband passed away
No.
recently, or
No.
sorry, you shouldn't have appointed my husband.
No for me.
We never.
And you know she contacted anybody, employees in the courthouse at all, any staff at all on this subject?
No.
I'm not aware of receiving any emails.
Because had that occurred, or when individuals move out of the state, then normally we receive something that says so-and-so does not want to be reappointed, or they're leaving the state, they're going to school, they're doing this, whatever the case may be. And that is why at times you will see during the course of the year us making a board appointment, which is not unlikely either, because we're short a member for whatever reason. So people go to the past history.
Thank you for your explanation.
I know it was long, but okay. Thank you.
Any additional public comment? Without seeing any, is there a motion to adjourn? First, probably moved, second,